blood and become my son. For by dawn Lord survive. And so the pack was born again, as the wolves of the Arbas to rule in night and sudden death, as the moonlight found Greetings, fellow traveler. I apologize for my singing. I didn't realize I had an audience. I sometimes fashion myself a bard or a sword singer of legend. It's more ominous than beautiful, but I suppose its melody won't lack for suitors. Maybe not now, but in time. No, I imagine it isn't. Few have ever heard it, and even fewer understand what it's about. Some say it's a quiet song of glory, while others will tell you it tells the loudest of tragedies. You see, to be a companion, to be part of the circle, one must give up a piece of their humanity. It was not something I was willing to give. So I left my shield brothers and sisters and set out on my own. I figured I needed time to myself, and I've grown weary of saying goodbye. Not at all. The choice was easy. I've always been suspicious of easy power. The only strength that you can truly rely on is the kind that's earned. Hardly. In my time with the wolves, I did a lot of small favors, pest control, muscle jobs, or hunting down petty thieves. As someone who spent half her life in the slums and the other half tracking and hunting forest game, this work came easy. Unfortunately, raiding caves, Draugr crypts, ghost ships and spider dens are another matter entirely. I don't know, but I don't have the skills to survive as an adventurer. You need to know which mushrooms are food and which ones are poison. You have to learn how to sleep on a bed of rock and with one eye open. And, as a hunter, you have to get used to the idea of being prey. The worst part is, you might spend a week in some crypt and have no treasure to show for it. So you also have to learn to handle disappointment. Yet it's not the size of a cave that worries me, but what lives inside it. Particularly the caves marked by the Falmer. The Falmer marked the entrance to their caves with a sculpture of painted bones. I'm repulsed by it, but I don't think I could venture into a cave if I wasn't sure those things weren't looming beneath, the markings held. I grew up in a poor village outside of Whiterun. It was very small but full of children and as such, full of life. They said when we played in the yard, the peals of laughter rang all the way to Dragon's Reach. Yet, when I think about that village, I can never hear it. I listen for it, train my ears toward the darkness, but what comes out isn't laughter. There were screams that night. So many screams. The Falmer took my mother, they took my father. They tried to take me. Before she took me in, my mother used to light a single sconce by my bed to ward off the dark. I remember the way the light wrapped around its face, how it stood there, tracing its mouth with its tongue. I'm sorry. No more talk about the Falmer. They're foul creatures, and if I never see another, it will be too soon. No. And it has nothing to do with the circle, that's why I left, but there's a different reason why I won't return. When I was a child, I thought of nothing else but joining the fabled companions. Not out of some desire to be a hero, but because I believed there was no safer place to live than inside the great niche hall of Dovakhiin. I remember kneeling on the steps, drenched in wet rags, the clouds practically screaming the rain. It must have looked so pitiful, begging Skjor to take me in. Yet it wasn't pity he gave me, but scorn. Who do you think we are, girl? He said. Your Vasco is not an orphanage. He was right. All my life I'd sought the protection of others, when I should have been learning to protect myself. True, there are many times when I have relied on the strength of others, and each time it has only served to hinder my own development. I once travelled with a companion. You might even call him a friend. For years I would rely on him for food, for warmth, and for someone to talk to. But what if the day came when I couldn't summon his aid? And then what would become of me? No, that wasn't going to be my fate. The wolves will recruit any fighter who is strong and virtuous, for there are few in this world who are both. My chance came about 7 summers ago, when the city held a tournament to celebrate the birth of the Jarl's son. I was a girl not even flowered, and the crowd behind me laughed and jeered when I requested to enter my name on the archers list. But all went silent when Jarl and Greymane vouched for me, and paid for my entrance with a dagger from the Skyforge. From his view atop the Skyforge, he'd seen me grow from a child who could barely knock an arrow to one who could bullseye a flea. He watched me train outside Yvaska day and night, in the chills of winter and the rains of spring, so that I could one day earn my way inside. And on that day, there was not an archer in Whiterun whose aim was more true. Not Aethys or Irila, not even Ayla the Huntress would best me. I was fortunate. Ayla's a more skillful archer than I, but on that day she was not at her best, and I was never better. Resent is probably too strong of a word. My time with the wolves was disappointing, but only because I had a false impression of who they were. As a child, I thought they could protect me. As a woman, I thought they would groom me. It was naive to think so. Wolves may run in packs, but there's a hierarchy, and a competitive one. Whatever skill or strength I gained, I earned on my own. What is it?
If you know any true sons and daughters of Skyrim, tell them to head to Windhelm. Ulfric Stormcloak wants to see them.
It's not like my poaching is hurting anyone. The Jarl can hardly eat every deer now, can he?
My master and I had a bit of a falling out. We got into an argument and it got rather heated. He's kicked me out until I find someone who can settle our disagreement. That's where you come in. Thank you. Now, since he banished me, Vile's been rather weak. He can't manifest very far from one of his shrines. I know there's a cult that worships him at Haemar's shame. We should be able to talk to him there. If this works out, I'll make sure you're rewarded. Hey, just don't trust any offer he makes you, okay?
Victory is yours. I submit.
If I can just...
Enough!
No.
I guess you could say I got on his nerves. I tend to be the voice of reason, and he finds that irksome. He couldn't just kill me, you see. We're technically part of each other. But he was able to banish me from his domain. Of course, because of our separation, Vile is now much weaker. I guess he figured it was a small price to pay for not having to listen to me anymore.
By all means, let's hear it. It's the least I could do since you already helped me grant one final wish for my last worshippers. They were suffering so from vampirism and begged me for a cure. Then you came and ended their misery. I couldn't have planned it better myself. So, what's your heart's desire? What kind of deal can we strike? That insufferable punk! Forget it! Request denied! No deal! I'm glad to be rid of him, even if it does mean I'm stuck in this pitiful shrine in the back end of nowhere. Well, perhaps there is a way he could earn his place back at my side? Maybe, but no promises. There's an axe. An incredibly powerful axe. An axe powerful enough for me to have quite a bit of fun indeed. If you bring it to me, I'll grant you my boon. No strings attached, no messy surprises. At least not for you. As I recall, it's resting in Rhymerock Burrow. Barbas can lead you right to it. Little Mutt might even earn his place back at my side.
One of Clavicus's little Jess, a wizard named Sebastian Lord, had a daughter who worshipped her scene. When the daughter became a werewolf, it drove Sebastian over the edge. He couldn't stand to see his little girl take on such a bestial form. The wizard wished for the ability to end his daughter's curse. Clavicus gave him an axe. All right then, we'll get together later.
goodness.
There's been word of some trouble nearby. I'm on my way to investigate. I probably shouldn't tell everyone who asks. This is important business, you know. No, I think I've got this one. Thanks, though.
If you know any true sons and daughters of Skyrim, tell them to head to Windhelm. Ulfric Stormcloak wants to see them.
Keep an eye out for Imperial agents. I saw one around here that looked just like you. Greetings and salutations. My name is... Wait a minute. Are you an Imperial agent? I think you're answering a question with another question in an attempt to confuse me. I think it's working. Only an Imperial agent would be so cunning. Which is surprising because they're normally so stupid. Well, 2 can play that game. So can 3. Pretty much any number less than 12. This dump? Are you out of your mind? I just sleep here, live here, and use the vegetable garden. No, this all belongs to someone else. Plants? You need to get your eyes checked. There's corn, artichokes, and that nightshade-looking thing over there is some kind of dwarven onion. Some plant mage. Probably wasn't a very good one either, using a stove for an alchemy table. I'll let him move back in. What's so surprising about it? I've got dignity frothing out of my tunic. And before you go there, I'm not talking about the stains. Or maybe I am. I'm a son of Skyrim. Nothing we ever say or do is wrong. Of course. Now, not officially, but I follow the one true king of Skyrim. Not that harlot widow, what's-her-face, General Tullius. What kind of name is that for a jarl? Or a woman? General. Sounds like something I'd name a store. Or the assortment of garbage that collects under my foot.
Need something? Nah, I don't think so.
What are you doing that for?